Hello one and all, again we're going to do another quick two-part tutorial series. This time we're going to make some procedural boulders like in this picture up here, and it involves a few techniques, using a couple of modifiers but also using material displacement. So the first part will be making the basic shape using displace modifiers, and then the second part, which will likely be a longer part, will be the texturing, and part of that texturing is some added displacement. So when we're done with this part, the displacement isn't finished. This is just kind of the base, and then yeah, you'll see the rest as we go. But let's not muck around, let's get involved. So this is pretty much what we're gonna make. This is just a cube, and it's procedural like I mentioned. So if I move it, you can see depending on where it is. So if I duplicate that and bring that one over here, it's a different boulder. And then if you go into edit mode, you can change the shape. I've cloned these, so that's why they're both changing. So yeah, warp it, whatever, and then once you go back out of edit mode, have a look, and it's created a new shape. And there's lots we can do with the texture, but that is basically what we're aiming for. So I'm going to create a new thing, and we want to add, if you haven't already deleted your cube, we want one. And firstly, I'm going to scale it up just a bit. That'll do. And then I'm going to Control A and do my scale. And I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to subdivide twice. And I shall also add a subdivision surface. Now your system is going to depend on how many levels you can deal with. We will be using another subdiv, but I'm going with 2 physical subdivisions and then 3 on the subdiv. First thing we want to add is a displace modifier, and take mid-level for now down to 0 and just click new. And if you go into your texture properties, we want this to be clouds, and we want Veroni crackle, I believe, if I remember that's correct. Yes. And we want, for now, just so we can see what's going on, put another subdiv after that one and just put that up to 2. And if we go into the texture properties, I think we're going to want to make it larger, quite a bit larger. And then if you click colors, and under you've got color ramp, click that, and then just bring that up. Let's bring up the black a bit as well. I might actually make that even bigger. Let me try 10. That's better. So just make it larger, because we don't want too many cracks. Yeah, like that. That'll do it. And then let me just see if I change this to hard. No, I prefer it soft. Okay. And because this is using this displace modifier is going all over our cube, this crack is endless, and I want it to be less uniform like this. So what we can do is, if you head into weight paint mode and F to make your brush bigger, I'm just going to paint over some of these cracks, and it will become clear in a moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert this in a minute. So this texture will only show, this displacement modifier, sorry, will only show where I'm not painting once I've inverted this mask. So yeah, that'll do, because as I say, we're separating 2 displace. We're going to put another one in a minute. And what I would do is I would also select mix, give it 0.2, and then just click a bunch and just spread these, the bits you've changed, just spread them a little bit. Otherwise it's a bit harsh when it comes to separating these 2 displace modifiers. So yeah, just anywhere that could do with a bit of mixing, just to smooth it a little bit, I would recommend doing so. That looks about right, that looks about smooth. Okay, and then go, oh sorry, yes, what we need, because we're going to need 2 weight paint groups. So here, when you've got group, click this and then copy vertex group. And this one, just go to weight, invert. So now we've got this group, which is using this part, and this group, which is using this part. Sweet. Back into object mode. So if we go to our displace modifier, we want to change the vertex group to the one the first one, group. And as you can see, the cracks now aren't all over it. And we're going to put another displace in that's going to fill in the gaps that this isn't using. So that looks pretty key. Let me see, I might take a bit of mid-level up. Let's have a look. I'm just adding a little bit of that, it just kind of pinches it a little. Okay, so let's add the second displace modifier, which will be here, and then just drag that underneath the subdiv. Click new, and take mid-level down to 0 again. And then in here, instead of Voronoi Crackle, we want Voronoi F2. I always say Voronoi F2, F1. And let's have a look. So first thing to check what the thing is doing is, let's just bring the strength up. Okay, so just change vertex group. Now we want this one, group copy. So now this is only appearing, as you can see, where I've told it to, basically. Okay, and yeah, I give it a bit of strength because I need to remove the mid-level actually on that a bit more, because I want to see, yeah, now I found it out. So I'm going to go back to this first texture, and you've got to go up here. This is the second one we made, this is the first one, and I'm going to make that 20. Yeah, I think that might be better. Let's have a look. Go back in. I'm just going to go back into my strength. Okay, I'm going to bring that mid-level right down. I don't want it doing that. I only want it going in and out. Actually, no, we'll have a bit of mid-level. Okay, I like the fact we've got a little bit of an edge. I like it a lot. And I'm going to bring that down. See what happens if we give that a bit of mid-level as well. I mean, this is, as I say, it's just all experimentation. But that, yeah, I think that looks like a good place to start. But let's now make them procedural. Shift A, add an empty, and then go click on your boulder, and under here, coordinates in your first texture, in your first displace, object, and then select empty, and then do the same for the next one, object, empty. And now what happens when we move this, you see we're getting different shapes. If we rotate it, yeah. So that's how we get this procedural. If I Alt D this now and drop it here, it's different to that one there, and that one, and so forth. And there are different, much more different things we can do involving the texture, but that is going to be for the next part. As I say, the next part is going to be longer than this one because we get quite involved with the material and the shader. But that's part 1 done. I hope that's been fun. I've been Nick, you've been you. I'll see you in part 2. Sweet.